The Berlin Open had always been one of the crown jewels of the grass court season. Every June, the historic lawns of Berlin's famed Rot-Weiss Tennis Club welcomed the biggest names in women's tennis. Champions arrived. Rivalries intensified. Wimbledon dreams were sharpened under the German sun. But in the summer of 2026, something unusual happened. The spotlight shifted. Not toward a reigning Grand Slam champion. Not toward a world number one. Not even toward the return of global icons like Serena Williams. Instead, the center of attention became a 21-year-old Filipina whose rise had transformed from a promising tennis story into something much bigger. Alex Eala arrived in Berlin carrying more than a racket bag and ranking points. She arrived carrying the hopes of millions, the attention of the global tennis world, and a level of emotional support that few young athletes had ever experienced. And then Germany itself embraced her. What followed became one of the most emotional moments of the 2026 tennis season. Because this was no longer just about tennis. This was about identity, about belonging, about barriers breaking in real time. And it all began with a single decision that changed everything. Berlin, Germany, June 2026. The grass season was already moving at full speed. The women's tour had shifted from the slow grind of clay to the fast, unforgiving speed of grass courts. Players had only a few short weeks to adapt before Wimbledon, the most prestigious tournament in the sport. The Berlin Open was one of the biggest stops before London. The field was brutal. 9 of the world's top 10 players had committed to the tournament. Aryna Sabalenka was there. Elena Rybakina was there. Coco Gauff, Jessica Pegula, and newly crowned French Open champion Mira Andreeva were all preparing to compete. The tournament already had massive attention. Then came the surprise. Alex Eala had been granted a wild card into the main draw. The announcement exploded across social media within minutes. Fans in the Philippines celebrated immediately. Filipino communities throughout Europe began organizing travel plans and ticket purchases. Tennis analysts suddenly started circling her section of the draw. Because this wasn't just another wild card. This was a statement. Tournament organizers had seen something bigger than rankings. They had seen the Eala effect. The phenomenon had already transformed tournaments across the world. In Dubai, ticket demand surged whenever Eala played. In Indian Wells, Filipino-American fans packed practice courts just to watch her train. In Birmingham, thousands of supporters turned the tournament atmosphere into what many described as a home event away from home. Everywhere she went, the crowds followed. And now Berlin was preparing for the same thing. But nobody realized how deep the support inside Germany had already become. The man responsible for the wild card was tournament director Markus Zoecke. To casual fans, he was simply another executive helping run a major tournament. But inside tennis, Zoecke carried enormous respect. Before becoming a tournament director, he had lived the life of a professional player himself. He had competed on the WTA Tour. He had represented Germany in Davis Cup competition. He had played on the biggest courts in the world. Most importantly, he understood pressure. He understood what it meant to chase impossible dreams. And for years, he had quietly followed Alex Eala's journey. He had watched her rise from junior champion to professional contender. He had seen her fight through injuries, losses, criticism, and constant pressure. He had watched her become the highest-ranked Filipino tennis player in history. And somewhere along the way, admiration turned into belief. During an earlier interview that season, Zoecke had said something that now seemed prophetic. "I've seen many talented players," he explained. "Very few combine talent with resilience. Alex Eala is one of the rare ones." When discussions about wild card entries began, some tournament officials reportedly preferred higher-ranked names or established European stars. Zoecke disagreed. He pushed for Eala personally. He argued that her presence would transform the event, not just commercially, emotionally. He believed Berlin needed her story.
And he was right.
The moment her wild card was announced, ticket sales surged. Filipino communities across Germany immediately mobilized. Support groups formed online. Flags were ordered in bulk. Entire sections of the stadium began coordinating chants and colors. Suddenly, Berlin wasn't just hosting a tennis tournament. It was preparing for a movement. Then came June 14th, 2026. The day everything changed. The pre-tournament press conference at Rot-Weiss Tennis Club was expected to be routine. Journalists gathered inside the media room expecting standard answers about scheduling, weather conditions, and tournament favorites. The cameras rolled. Players waited nearby for interviews. Markus Zoecke stepped to the podium. At first, everything felt normal. He thanked sponsors. He welcomed players. He discussed logistics. Then he paused. The room grew quiet. "I have one more announcement," he said. Reporters lifted their heads. Cameras zoomed forward. Zoecke looked directly toward the corner of the room where Alex Eala was seated. "As many of you know," he began, "Alex Eala received a wild card into this tournament." He stopped again. "It was my decision." The room remained silent. "I made that decision because I believe she is one of the most exciting young players in tennis." Then his voice changed. More personal, more emotional. "But I also made it because I believe in something bigger than tennis." Now the room was completely still. "I believe in the power of sport to inspire people. I believe in the power of athletes to unite communities and break barriers." Then he looked directly at Eala. "Alex, I know you carry the hopes of millions of Filipinos every time you step on court." Her expression softened immediately. "I know the pressure you face. I know the expectations. I know the sacrifices." Another pause. Then came the sentence that changed everything. "Berlin is behind you." The room froze. "Germany is behind you." Several journalists exchanged stunned looks. From this moment forward, Zoecke continued, "You are not simply a visitor in our country." He leaned toward the microphone. "You are part of our tennis family." The atmosphere inside the room shifted instantly. It no longer felt like a press conference. It felt personal, emotional, historic. But Zoecke still wasn't finished. He reached beneath the podium and lifted a framed photograph. The image stunned the room. It showed the Berlin Wall covered in graffiti during the late 1980s. Across part of the wall was painted a Philippine flag. Gasps spread across the audience. "This photograph was taken in 1989, Zoecke explained quietly. "I was a student in West Berlin." He looked at the image. "I painted that Philippine flag myself." The room erupted in disbelief. For a moment, even the journalists forgot to take notes. Zoecke explained that as a young exchange student during the final months of the Cold War, he had painted the flag as a symbol of hope, a symbol that barriers could fall, that impossible things could happen, that people from small countries could dream beyond limitations. Then he turned toward Alex Eala. "You remind me of that belief," he said. "You are breaking barriers every time you step onto a tennis court." His voice cracked slightly. "You are showing the world that greatness can come from anywhere." He handed her the framed photograph. "And I am proud to welcome you to Berlin." Alex Eala stood slowly from her chair. For once, words failed her. This was a player known for composure, known for calm interviews, known for maturity under pressure. But now her eyes filled with tears. Her hands trembled as she accepted the gift. "I don't know what to say," she whispered. Zoecke smiled softly. "You don't have to say anything," he replied. "Just play. Just fight. Just be yourself." The room exploded into applause. Not polite applause. Real applause. Emotional applause. Several journalists later admitted they had tears in their eyes. Even camera operators lowered their equipment for a moment. Because everyone inside that room understood they had just witnessed something far bigger than a tennis announcement. This was about recognition, validation, belonging. Within minutes, clips from the press conference spread across the internet. Then the world reacted. The hashtag Berlin Embraces Eala began trending globally. Fans across the Philippines shared emotional messages. One supporter wrote, "A German tournament director painted the Philippine flag on the Berlin Wall decades ago and now gave it to Alex. This feels unreal." Another posted, "This is not just support. This is history embracing history." German fans joined the celebration too. Many praised Zoecke's gesture as one of the most heartfelt moments tennis had seen in years. Some called it a reminder that sports could still create genuine human connection, in an increasingly commercial world. Even players reacted emotionally. Boris Becker, who had already publicly praised Eala earlier in the grass season, posted that Germany was proud to welcome her. Venus Williams called the gesture beautiful and deeply meaningful. Coco Gauff reportedly reposted the clip with a simple message: "That's love." The story transcended tennis almost instantly. News outlets across Europe and Asia covered the moment. Suddenly, Eala's Berlin campaign was no longer simply about rankings or Wimbledon seeding. It had become a global story about identity, perseverance, and connection. And perhaps that was the most powerful part of all, because Alex Eala's rise had never been easy. Behind the victories and headlines were years of sacrifice. Long flights, lonely hotel rooms, financial pressure, physical exhaustion, constant expectations. She left home at a young age to pursue tennis seriously. She trained thousands of miles away from family. She carried the hopes of an entire country in a sport where the Philippines had never truly produced a global superstar before. Every tournament became bigger than herself. Every match carried meaning beyond the scoreboard. And yet she kept fighting. That was what Germany recognized. Not just her forehand, not just her ranking, her spirit. The following day, Eala prepared for her opening round match against Donna Vekic. The stakes were enormous. A strong run in Berlin could secure crucial Wimbledon seeding points. A loss could create major pressure heading into the All-England club. But now something felt different. The atmosphere around her had changed. When she walked through the grounds of Rot-Weiss Tennis Club, fans waved both Philippine and German flags. Children waited for autographs. Spectators shouted Leben from the stands. She wasn't alone anymore. Berlin had embraced her completely. And perhaps that was the true legacy of Markus Zoecke's announcement. Not the headlines, not the viral clips, not even the framed photograph itself. It was the message behind it, that barriers are meant to fall, that greatness does not belong only to traditional powers, that a young woman from Quezon City could walk into one of Europe's most prestigious tournaments and feel completely at home. By the time Alex Eala stepped onto the grass courts of Berlin, she was no longer just carrying the hopes of the Philippines. She was carrying the belief of an entire international community that saw something special in her journey. And win or lose, that belief had already become one of the defining stories of the 2026 grass court season. Because sometimes the most unforgettable moments in sports are not trophies or championships. Sometimes they're the moments when a person realizes the world has finally seen them. And in Berlin, Germany finally saw Alex Eala.